Hey there. Hope everyone's okay today. Today's video is going to be about OCD and having intrusive thoughts. So, what is OCD? OCD stands for Obsessive Compulsive Disorder, and it's basically where you obsess about things like washing hands very frequently, having a fear of contamination, checking things regularly, such as doors being locked, windows being locked, that sort of thing. So OCD was pretty much the first thing that I got diagnosed with. I got diagnosed with this when I was about 21, 22, I think it was. And I started having it's like a strange period in my life, I guess, where I was washing my hands around, I lose count, I guess, about 70 times a day. And I'd wash my hands maybe if I thought I was in contact with something dirty, like perhaps food left over or a bin, perhaps if I couldn't touch a bin, even if it was like just a regular kitchen bin. I just couldn't touch it. I stayed far from it, and I had to wash my hands with soap very regularly. And I basically got to the point where my hands were so dry from washing with soap so often that I couldn't even open my hands. My skin was cracking, that sort of thing. And I had a fear of going out, and I had a fear of anxiety, which I'll probably talk about in another video. And this then resulted in what I call an intrusive thought, which kind of goes in hand with OCD. Now, what intrusive thoughts are really, well, my experience of intrusive thoughts are that you have this thought that comes into your mind, and it's a thought that is usually quite bad. Like, for example, if you don't do something that's OCD related, like you don't touch something or you're too close to something like that, you think that you may do something like a bad decision, like you want to kill someone or someone's going to kill you, or maybe you have a thought that you need to wash your hands, or maybe you have a fear of if you don't do something that's in your rituals, that something bad might happen. Now, OCD is a very, very ritual problem. Well, not problem, but situation to be in. It definitely involves very ritualistic things. Like, I still have that now. So it kind of have a very structured day when it comes to OCD and rituals. So you like to do things at a certain time. You like to know exactly what's happening, and clarity is always like a good thing to have. So if you're going to meet someone, you like to know exactly like to the minute when you're going to meet them. And being unsure about things is a very difficult thing to do. Now, like I say, that was the first thing that I had, and I wasn't sure what was happening with OCD. But it happened in my second year of college, and it caused a lot of problems within my house. With my living situation that I was in when I first experienced it, it caused a lot of problems. I couldn't get the grades that I wanted because I was afraid to go out. Was afraid of everything. I just couldn't do things. I was in bed all day. I struggled to get up. I had this thing in my mind where if I was to do something, then I tried not to do it whilst thinking about something. It sounds kind of weird, I know, but that's just my personal thing. So the way that I would describe it is when I was getting up out of bed in the morning, I couldn't get up without thinking about something. So as soon as I got up, a thought came into my head. Like, for instance, every time I got up, I had this image of, say, a celebrity, an actor that I may like, may not like. I'm not sure about that time. And every time I got up, I always had that image in my head. And there's something telling me, no, that's not right. That's bad behavior or whatever. You have to do it again. So I had this ritual, and I still have this to this day, actually, but it's slightly different. I have this thing now where I cannot get up if I hear sirens. They just, like police sirens, they really bother me. I have to wait until I cannot hear a thing. So if I get up and I hear a door closing, that's it. I'm just like in bed. I cannot get up. And to get over this, it's hard to say. I just kind of wait until I feel sort of comfortable with it. And other things I suffer from is, well, the other OCD ritual that I have. It all sounds weird to say this, but maybe other people have experienced the same thing or not. But like, I cannot leave the house if a kettle is boiling. The sound just really bothers me. And if I'm here a toilet flushing, I have to stay in the house until that toilet has finished flushing. Other rituals I have, which is OCD like, every time I go to the bathroom, I have to make sure that I wash my hands with soap before the toilet finishes flushing. And there's like a thought in my head that if I don't do something, then I have to break something. And over the years, I have caused a hell of a lot of damage with this anger, because when you get stuck in a rut with these rituals, it's so annoying, and it gets to a point where you're so frustrated with it that you break things. And I've broken countless things: clothes, TVs, smashing things against the wall, throwing food against the wall, and it's hell to be in. So the ways that I manage OCD and intrusive thoughts are, I have had quite a lot of therapy when I was on the psych ward, and they told me that these thoughts, that you can control them, but when you're first experiencing them, it's hard to sort of like get your mind through that, I guess. So if you're told that in an intrusive thought, that if you don't do something in a certain way, that something very bad is going to happen to someone you know, or something like that, you kind of have to, you ask, like, the thought, where's the evidence? And that helps a lot. And another way I think of it is, people think, well, it's just a thought, it's not real, it's not going to happen, it's just a thought, and you can control them. But like I say, this is very difficult to sort of, I would say, it's difficult to sort of take that advice on board, because you truly believe that that thought is going to happen. And so, yeah, that's pretty much my experience with OCD. So it has gotten better over the years. I take regular medication, which has helped a lot. I've tried lots of things, to be honest with you, and eventually I found something that worked. With the thoughts now, everyone, I guess, has their good days and everyone has their bad days. On the bad days, it's very difficult to get out of the rut and get out of the rituals. Some days, I think, you know what, I don't care, I'm too tired. Whatever happens, happens. And then you realize that at the end of the day, nothing better happens. So maybe I spent all these years caring too much. Other days you think, you know what, things are getting on top of me, and I'm just going to stick to things because I just want to be safe. I don't want anything bad to happen to anyone. I don't want anything bad to happen to me, so I'm just going to stick with it. So it's just finding a way around it. I find personally that it's all about coping strategies. So if you do feel that you're washing your hands quite regularly, which is I've found myself, and when I've researched this online, that hand washing is a very regular symptom, excuse me, of OCD. That you want to stay clean, like say you don't want to get infected by anything. And if you do wash your hands, obviously it's good practice to do it anyway regularly. But washing your hands I was washing my hands maybe 5 minutes all day. And I remember one day I bought a whole big bottle of soap, hand soap to wash my hands with. And I literally got through the whole bottle in one day. And I was like, wow, that's a lot of soap. So I always keep a large amount of hand soap ready because, first of all, it's obviously good practice to be hygienic anyway. But it's just reassuring for me to know that if I am going to have an intrusive thought, or if I feel like I might be felt like I'm exposed to something, then at least I know that I've got hand soap ready. So yeah, my advice is if you're having an intrusive thought, first of all, you have to, I guess, really think about, is it likely that something's going to happen? Like, I watched this program on TV, it was quite a while ago actually, about a group of people who also had OCD, but all had different kind of OCDs. One person had this thing where they had to shake someone's hand with two hands, like a symmetry sort of thing, which is also a very big symptom of it. People like symmetry a lot. Like if you're organizing your groceries in the kitchen, people like organization, so they kind of put their things like to the left and right and kind of keep the center sort of space sort of empty, I guess. Like organization is a big key. So one guy liked to shake someone's hand with two hands. Somebody else, when they walked like on the corridor, they had to, I think it was tap the sign a number of times, otherwise they thought they were going to be in a position where the relatives may die. I've forgotten the rest of it because it's been a while since I watched that program. I think other symptoms may include things like people like to organize the kitchen in a certain way, like they like to have the knives and things like all neatly lined up, and some people like to have things pointing a certain way. It's all sort of symmetry and organization. So yeah, that's all I have to say on OCD really. Like I said, it was the first thing that I got diagnosed with, and then I got diagnosed with other conditions, one of which is in my video, and I'll be uploading some more about other ways. But if you're experiencing OCD for the first time, I find that it does get easier over time. Quite a lot of people are because in my second year of uni, when I had chronic OCD, I was kind of, and I still do this now actually, I was almost walking around like a robot because I was afraid that my hands might touch something dirty. So I was kind of walking around sort of like a robot, like my hands were in a certain position. I was hiding my hands away, making sure I didn't touch them dirty because I didn't want to wash my hands again. And because my bathroom at uni was quite small, and so the taps because I was always afraid to touch the toilet, really afraid to touch the toilet. I just thought it was completely infected with germs, and every time I touched the toilet, I'd worry about touching something else, and then like the domino effect sort of thing. So the thing was at uni that my taps were really close to the toilet, which I kind of hate at the moment, to be honest with you, which luckily isn't a problem at the moment. And every time I wash my hands with soap after using the bathroom, obviously, or maybe touching something dirty, I was so worried that my hands would be near the toilet, and I was worried, you know what, did I touch them? Did I not? So instead of washing your hands once, I'd go several times, and then you maybe wash my hands 10 or 15 times during a session or something like that. And so, yeah, that is pretty much my experience with OCD. It was the first symptom that I had. I still have it now. I still struggle with it. It affected my entire life, took over my entire life. And it is something hard to deal with. But if you're experiencing OCD for the first time, and you're not sure what to do with it, I would advise immediately going to see your GP, your doctor, and then hopefully they can prescribe medication that is appropriate to your symptoms, counseling. One other thing that I've heard that helps other people. I'm not entirely sure if it helped with me, but I have had CBT counseling, and there's something called exposure therapy. And actually, exposure therapy, I've tried it in real life and it does kind of help. So how exposure therapy works is that you expose yourself. It can be like a gradual process, or sometimes you can just like go in a whole diving sort of thing, where you expose yourself to the thing that you fear the most. So for me, that was like a bathroom area. So saying if you're in a new situation like you got a new job and you're worried about touching something, but you have no choice but to be in that situation, that really actually helped me, surprisingly enough, because it means that suddenly you have no choice but to be exposed to whatever situation that was. And then suddenly you feel, you know what, nothing's bad happened in the situation. And I don't feel too bad about it. So if you ever get the chance for exposure therapy or CBT, then I highly recommend that. And obviously, seek medical advice. Medication helps. Medication with me, with my personal experience with that, was it didn't work for quite a long time. I've been on I guess it's OCD tablets in a way. I'm kind of still on them. I've been on them. They're actually mood stabilizers for like depression, which I have, which I'll talk about in another video. And I've been on them for like most of my adult life now, and they did take quite a while to kick in. I would say that my tablets took about, it's hard to say exactly how long that took to kick in, but I would say maybe a few years. But I'm guessing that's all dependent on your individual situation. Like maybe that might be different for other people, but for me, I took antidepressants for a long time, and it didn't work. And then suddenly I thought, you know what, I feel better now. So with tablets, they do say that you should give them at least, I believe it's like 3 months minimum for things to work. With the tablets, I'll briefly go over the tablets. The tablets I take make you very drowsy. So I take most of my tablets at night. But they do help. Like I said, they do take a while to kick in. So if you prescribe anything for OCD, then you have to definitely give it time. But there are different types. They work in different ways. Some may not work. Some may work really well. Maybe they'll work straight away for you. If they do, great. But for me, they took quite a while, and I've been on a lot of different types of medication. I have been on countless different types of medication, but the medication I've been on for my OCD and intrusive thoughts, and most days at work, but I believe that hopefully there is medication for everyone. So it's all about working with your GP and various team for that. Okay, well, this video has actually been going on for a lot longer than I thought. I hope I haven't missed anything out. I'm sure I will do. If I think of anything that will help, then I'll post maybe a second part. As always, if you found this video useful anyway, please hit that like button. And feel free to comment if there's anything that you particularly want to find out or you're interested in, or if there's any other videos that you would particularly like me to post, then please feel free to comment and like. And as always, I will be making hopefully videos every week. And I said that last time, and I don't remember if I said it in the beginning of the video, and I was going to say it. But the reason why I haven't been I may have said this, I lost my train of thought actually, but the reason why I haven't uploaded any videos in a few weeks, maybe a month, is because I've had this really weird throat problem that was hurting when I swallowed or when I talked for long periods of time. I've been on tablets for that, and it's been hurting for like, I don't know, 8 weeks, maybe 9 weeks. So I thought I'd give me my throat a rest. It's feeling a bit better now. But yeah, that's the reason why I haven't been on. But it's starting to feel better. So I'm rambling about something else now. So anyway, yeah, that's all from me. Like I said, please subscribe if you like the channel. Hopefully you do. Then you'll get notifications on when I upload videos. If you have any comments, as always, please feel free to comment on anything you like. And please hit that like button. Okay, well, that's it for me. Later, guys.